So let's talk about a huge challenge that a ton of talented Japanese chefs run into. You spent years, maybe decades, mastering the art of cooking. But how do you take that incredible skill and turn it into a successful restaurant, a real business overseas? Because this isn't just about food, right? It's about business. And today, we're going to break down the exact roadmap to get you there.
All right, let's just dive right in. You're an amazing chef. You can craft the perfect piece of nigiri. Your dashi is absolutely flawless. You're an artist. But here's the thing. The skills that make you a great chef are not the same skills that are going to make you a successful business owner abroad. And we're going to break down exactly what it takes to bridge that massive gap.
And you know what? Here's the answer, right up front. The secret isn't some single magic ingredient. It's a formula. Success overseas is a product of your cooking skill, sure, but that's multiplied by your ability to create a reproducible product. Then you combine that with savvy management and a deep, real understanding of the local market. You have to forget about being just an artisan. The goal is to become an entrepreneur who just so happens to be a world-class chef.
So how in the world do you get all those different skills? Well, it's not random and it's not luck. It's a structured journey. We're going to walk through a very specific three-phase training roadmap that'll take you from the absolute basics in the kitchen all the way to building a scalable business system.
Okay, here's the entire journey in a nutshell. Phase 1, that's all about building your foundation. Phase 2 is where you learn the system in a crazy high-pressure environment. And Phase 3? That's where you finally put on your CEO hat and build the actual business. See how each one builds directly on the last? All right, let's break them down.
Okay, Phase 1, Foundational Mastery. We're talking 3 to 5 years, and ideally, you're doing this at a really high end, maybe even a Michelin-starred restaurant in Japan. This is not the time to be working at some high-volume chain. The goal here is simple, but it's not easy. You need to perfect your core techniques to the point where you can create a reproducible taste. That means the exact same, super high-quality flavor every single time. That is your bedrock. Everything else is built on top of that.
Now for Phase 2, the game completely changes. For the next 2 to 4 years, you've got to move abroad and work in a high-volume restaurant. Your focus totally shifts from pure technique to learning the system. How do you maintain quality when you're serving hundreds of people a night? How do you manage costs, communicate effectively in English, and adapt to whatever local suppliers you can get? This is all about operational excellence.
And that's why places like Naboo or Sugarfish are so key. Why them? Because they are the absolute masters of the system. They have perfected branding, operations, and standardization on a global scale. Working at a place like that, it's like getting an MBA in restaurant operations, but you get paid for it. You're not just learning to cook anymore, you're learning the actual blueprint for a successful international food business.
And now we get to Phase 3. This is the stage where, honestly, so many talented chefs just stumble and fall. This is all about business and brand building. You have to master your food cost. Keeping it between that 25 to 35% range is non-negotiable. You have to manage labor, design your store operations, become a marketing whiz on social media, and know exactly how to pick a winning location. You could have the best food in the world, but it means absolutely nothing if your business model is broken.
This brings us to a really crucial choice. Once you have all the skills, what kind of restaurant do you actually build? And this isn't just some creative decision. This is probably the single most important financial and strategic decision you are going to make.
So let's look at your three main options. You've got the super high-end omakase joint, which is incredible brand value but is really, really tough to scale. Then there's the mid-market model, think something like a sushi and izakaya blend. And finally, you have the highly localized model, like a ramen shop. Just looking at this chart, you can see the strategic trade-offs become crystal clear.
And, the data points to a pretty clear winner for most aspiring owners. That mid-market model, combining sushi with popular izakaya dishes, it just hits the sweet spot. It offers really high profitability because your margins are good, and it offers high scalability because that system can be duplicated way more easily than a one-man omakase counter. For most people, this is your most direct path to a scalable, profitable business.
Okay, you've got the skills, you've chosen your business model. Now, let's get a nice, big dose of reality. It's time to talk about the practical, real-world hurdles of actually opening a restaurant, especially in a market as competitive as the US.
First up, the money. And do not underestimate this part. The initial investment just to get your doors open is typically going to run you anywhere from $150,000 to over $500,000. That is a massive financial barrier before you've even served a single customer.
And once you are open, this number right here becomes your obsession. Your food cost, what you're spending on ingredients as a percentage of your menu price, it must be kept between 25 and 35%. If it starts to creep higher than that, your profit just vanishes. Poof, gone. This is where your management skill directly translates into whether you survive or not.
But it's not just about the money. Oh no. You've got to navigate the incredibly complex immigration system to even get a work visa. Then you have to get all the right food safety licenses, which are different in every single state. And this is huge, you have to understand that today, your reputation is almost entirely in the hands of Yelp and Google reviews. A few bad reviews right at the start can literally sink a new business.
Look, facing all of those hurdles requires so much more than just cooking skill. It requires a fundamental shift in how you think about everything. This is all about adopting the winning mindset. It's not just about what you cook, it's about how you build a system around your cooking.
This slide right here shows the crucial distinction. The artisan mindset, on the one hand, is obsessed with perfecting one single dish. The entrepreneur mindset, on the other hand, is obsessed with building a profitable system that can deliver that great dish consistently at scale. Your entire goal is to make that leap from the left column to the right.
So what's the best way to develop this mindset? Is it culinary school, or is it better to just jump straight into a kitchen? Well, culinary school is great for theory, but it completely lacks the speed and the intense pressure of a real dinner service. A direct apprenticeship, though, it throws you right into the fire. It teaches you the real-world skills you need to survive and, eventually, to thrive. For this specific goal, the apprenticeship is just far, far more valuable.
But here's the smartest, most pragmatic way to do it. A hybrid strategy. You use culinary school, but you use it strategically. Go for a short program, maybe 6 to 12 months. Your goal isn't to master everything there, no. Your goal is to use that school's reputation and its network as a stepping stone, a launch pad to get your foot in the door of a top-tier restaurant. Then you learn the real skills on the job. It's the best of both worlds.
This chart really summarizes the entire philosophy we've been talking about. Just look at the relative importance of these skills for success overseas. Yeah, your raw cooking ability is important, of course it is, but it's not the most important thing. What matters more is your management skill. And what matters most of all, your ability to create that reproducible system. That's the real game changer.
Let's make this feel a bit more real. What could this journey actually look like on a faster timeline? Imagine this. From 18 to 22, you're all in on foundational training and learning English. Then, from 22 to 26, you're abroad, you're in the trenches, learning the system. By the time you're in your late 20s, you could be ready to launch. Maybe you start small with a food truck or a takeout spot to build your brand before you scale up. It's totally doable. If you only take one single thing away from this entire explainer, please let it be this. Everything we have discussed, the skills, the mindset, the system, all of it all comes down to one single decision: the restaurant you choose for your apprenticeship. Choosing a place that's busy, that actually teaches its young chefs, and has a proven, successful model. That is the single most important decision you will make. It literally sets the entire trajectory for the rest of your career.
And this brings us to one final, really powerful point. And this might be tough for some artisans to hear. For the entrepreneur, the ultimate goal isn't necessarily to replicate the authentic taste of some specific region in Japan. The goal is to develop the skill to create a product that people in your new market absolutely love and are excited to pay for. It's the ability to create what sells.
So there you have it. The skills, the models, the mindset, the roadmap to success. The path from artisan to entrepreneur is crystal clear, but it demands a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and your craft. The only question left is, are you ready to stop being just a chef and start building a business?